responsibility is when we're there. As far as game day arrival, so we really want all of our line judges to be there at 7 a.m. We got circles to lay. It takes a long time. We usually go right up until almost start time with that. The more people that we have to support that, the better, the faster that we can do it to make sure that we get everything correct. As far as dress code, so black slacks and athletic shoes. We don't want to damage the gym floor by having on dress shoes and leaving scuff marks. We're gracious to be able to borrow a facility, and we want to make sure that we're leaving that in as good shape as when we got there. So we've got the shirts that'll be provided. So our line judges will be in purple, circle directors in orange. But just make sure that you've got black slacks and athletic shoes on as you're coming. So you come in, you get your shirt. Once we lay the circles and everything, head over to the restroom to change. If you've got an undershirt on, you can do it in the corner of the gym, but we want to try to still be modest for everybody that's in there, so heading over to the restroom to change once you get your shirt. Once you're assigned to a circle, so we're going to have multiple circles. Once you're assigned to one, please make sure you stay on your circle with your circle director. Get to know your fellow line judges. I know that a lot of us will be repeats and have worked together for many years, but there's also going to be some new people, and so making sure that you guys know each other's names, how to support is going to be really important, and stay at your circle in case something were to come up that your circle director needs from you. Our goal is to only have church teams on the circle, so making sure that the teams that are assigned to that circle are the only ones that are on there. We've got multiple teams from some churches that will be potentially on different circles, older kids, younger kids. Obviously, we're running 3 age groups, and so it's really important to make sure that just the team that's assigned to that circle is actually on the circle, because we don't want to get the kids mixed up. We don't want distractions. Usually when other kids or teams are there, they're distracting their friends and things like that. We want to make sure that everybody stays focused on the circle. So as far as kind of the game day, what the setup is going to be and how we're going to run it, so about 40 minutes prior to the start of each event, we're going to have a judges meeting. So the circle directors will meet together, just one big judges group, kind of go through the order of events, ask any questions, make sure that everybody understands the rules. If we have any last minute changes or anything that needs to be communicated, whether a team drops out or we mixed up a color team and we have to adjust kind of the agenda for the day, all of that's going to happen during that time. So please make sure that you're ready to go for that time. About 20 minutes prior to the start, we're going to count our players. Do we have enough players? Usually just about every year we have a situation where somebody gets sick, somebody didn't show up, they're running late, and we've got to borrow a club or two from a different team, depending on the division and how many kids we have. We might have a situation where we have to borrow a club or two, and so having to make sure that we have enough players, checking in with the coaches is going to be really important, so having the teams on the floor about 20 minutes ahead, making sure everybody's in uniform, they got the correct shoes, and then just making sure we have no water bottles on the floor. I know a lot of little kids nowadays have a water bottle attached to their hip, which is fine, but we're asking during the actual event, and we'll cover that with the coaches training as well, that we don't have water bottles on the floor. We don't want water to spill as people are running around. It's clear liquid. It can be a dangerous situation, especially if they're running laps pretty quickly. About 15 minutes prior to start, once we get everybody on the circle, we're going to have our coaches meeting. So the circle director will lead that. We'll bring all the coaches and line judges into the middle, introduce everybody, and then just ask any questions, go through any clarifications of rules. Every year we have new churches, which is exciting, who haven't participated before, and so it's really important to make sure that everybody understands what the expectations and the rules are as we go through that. After that, we're going to kind of go through the actual game day, so we'll welcome everybody. We're going to do our flag ceremony, national anthem, and then we're going to all recite 2 Timothy 2:15 together. That will be for TNT and Trek and Journey, and I know for Sparks we do Job 3:16. We're going to introduce all the teams. We'll go around by circle, by color, to kind of cheer for everybody as coaches, as line judges, circle directors. Make sure that you guys are clapping for everybody, even if your church is on the circle or a different circle. Being consistent with your excitement and your cheering will be important for the teams. Because the kids are watching all of us as line judges, circle directors, and it's important for us to not, show favoritism or to be more excited about one team than another team when we're going around and introducing teams. Then we'll have the competition, so we'll go through the order of events as they're outlined, and again, we'll go through those at the coaches training. We'll go through them also after this, these next couple of slides to make sure that you guys are all aware of what the order of events are and what games we're playing. Then we're going to have a message, and again, this is from my perspective, and I know a lot of your perspective, is the most important part of the day. I know for the kids, sometimes this can be a challenge. They've been running around, their adrenaline's up, they're excited to see who wins, and our speakers do a really good job trying to keep their focus, keep them, their attention on. But really important to make sure that during the message, that we're helping kind of keep everything in control in the gym. All of the kids will be together. The coaches will kind of corral the kids, but make sure you're not leaving. If you have to use the restroom during this time, great time, but stay in the gym because we're probably going to need your help during the offering to kind of help usher and get those bins passed out to be able to collect an offering. So during the message piece, I know I always learn things, and I'm excited, for whoever shares, and so being there and paying attention is important. But we're going to have an offering. We take an offering every year just to support. Typically, it's our Awana missionary and kind of what's going on, with the events and specifically with Ken. But we'll have an offering. Then we're going to present the team awards. So this is important, as a circle director, line judge, that you're helping pass out the awards. So making sure you're back on your circle as we dismiss the kids and put them back, because you're going to be helping pass out the awards. And then we're going to dismiss with prayer as we end each session that we have going on. As far as kind of chain of command goes, so obviously we have our players. If they have an issue, they should be talking directly to their coach. Even as a circle director, when I was a line judge, I've had players come directly to me and just as nicely as you can, hey, you need to go talk to your coach. Usually the coach is already in conversation with somebody at that point, but making sure that the players know that they need to go to their coaches. And again, this will be communicated as well during the coaches training. Then we have the line judge. So the coach should be going directly to the line judge, not the circle director. So obviously the line judges are going to rotate, which we'll talk about in a couple of minutes, but whoever the line judge is for that team in that event, if there's a question, a concern, clarification that needs to come up, they should be going right to the line judge that was responsible. Then if the line judge needs clarification from the circle director, that's usually what will happen when that gets involved. Typically what will happen is a coach will ask a question or challenge something. They'll grab the line judge, the circle director will come over, and then the three of them or all of the line judges, if it was an incident that involved multiple teams, will come over and we'll kind of discuss what happened and clarification. So it's important to make sure that you're kind of paying attention to your coach after each event once we score everything. Because again, we move right on to the next heat or the next event, and if you're not making eye contact or you're not understanding what's going on with your coaches, it's hard to go back in time. So once we get set up for the next event, as a circle director, I know I'm already kind of thinking about what's next, making sure the circle is set, equipment is right, even the next event. So I'm always thinking like 2 events ahead, and it's really hard to kind of go back and try to figure out or remember what happened. So make sure that you guys are paying attention to that. Next, we're going to talk about the circle itself and kind of what we're going after and making sure that we've got everything correct, floor markings on how we're going to go. So that's how we're going to start. So you've got the direction of travel for floor markings. So what we're going to go through is kind of what the expectations are for what's okay, what's not okay. So when we talk about breaking the plane, so I think about like Sparky Crawl for an example. Their hand just has to cross and break the plane. The last player, then the Sparky can run in and grab the pin or the beanbag. When we're talking about balloon relay, they can be on the line, so you can see in the middle, but once they cross the line and break that last plane, so if you think about the actual tape is kind of like a buffer zone. So being on the tape is okay. The outside of that tape line is really where the end is, and making sure that the team doesn't cross that. So I want to make sure we have clarification on that again during the coaches portion. I'll spend a little bit more time talking about that. Then we have what we call the passing zone. So this is important to understand, especially during TNT Trek and Journey, when we have the tag rule in effect, but also when we talk about a passing zone, it's 1/4 of the circle, or on a 3-way, it will be 1/3 of the circle, so a quadrant or a third. And as we are passing, or our teams are passing each other, they get the current quadrant and the next one to be able to move out of the way. So I know that this is something in and I'll iterate it a little bit more clear with our coaches as well, but a lot of times our team members on teams think that as soon as they tap someone on the shoulder, they have to get out of the way immediately. They actually have the current quadrant plus the next one to be able to move out of the way, which I know sometimes can be a little bit frustrating. Dave's giving me a little pause for